1% per month. It's wild how there's an entire industry built around the fact that average people forget about subscription charges. I used to be average. I forgot about my subscriptions too, until one came to collect. I was stupid, admittedly, and took the ad as a joke when it popped up. How could I not? It literally said, asterisk, everything you could ever want, 1% a month. Asterisk, the process to sign up was very simple. It didn't even ask for card details. The morning after, I woke up to my phone, blaring every notification sound it knew simultaneously. My wife threw her body over mine to silence. The grating alarm, as she fumbled with my phone and turned it to silent mode. The expression on her face was dynamic. As the screen flickered in her eyes, I could see flashes of sadness, rage, and a look of pure disgust. You'll think less of me for what comes next. Ironic. But to be fair, my relationship with my wife ended years ago, and we were both just living through the incredibly long eulogy. She left that afternoon. Apparently, every single woman I'd spoken to in the last month, married, single, through work or friends, all of them had sent me confessions of attraction, a few even sending some suggestive photographs. In the moment, I really didn't care about her leaving. Part of why I was so hesitant to split was the possibility of being alone. Since that was clearly not an issue, I was far from bothered. Over the next few days, I played the field, dated a few ladies. It was the best time I'd ever had. Whenever we went out, the restaurant would comp our meals. Like every single time. And when the date wrapped up, the woman I was out with would always invite me in. It really didn't take much to make me happy. This went on for weeks, and I was really on top of the world. I moved into a little apartment in the city, decided to let the ex-wife keep the house. I certainly didn't want it anymore. When I came to see the apartment and meet the landlord, the guy basically fell the floor and kissed my toes. He gave me 240 months of free rent. 20 fucking years of free rent, and only then did I realize this had to be too good to be true. Moved in that day. I didn't even call movers or rent a truck. I was packing the last of my stuff when a white box truck pulled into the driveway. I walked out to it and the guy driving rolled down his window and said my name out loud, as if asking if that name was mine. I nodded and he continued with the address I was moving to. I confirmed it and he hopped out and started stowing my possessions. In his truck, he was done after about 45 minutes. I followed behind him in my brand new Tesla. He made good time to my apartment and unloaded the truck faster than he loaded it. He even put all my furniture into the appropriate rooms. I offered to pay him, but he just chuckled at me. I'll remember what he said until the worms eat the last of my meat from my bones. Nah, son, you're gonna pay, just not today. Soon, though, and not cash, neither. I went to bed alone that night. I thought about what he said. Jesus, I'm a scumbag. My self-hatred was interrupted by a sharp knock on my door. Probably one of the girls. When I opened the door, it was not a sexually frustrated woman waiting for me, but a small, suave man. He wore a fine suit, a monocle, and a regal hat. I asked him what he wanted, and he stared at me for a few seconds before the words came out. Monotone and bored. I am not here out of want. Good sir. I am here to collect the agreed balance. I had no fucking clue what this guy was talking about, and I was pretty sure I could just kick his ass. Besides, he was technically trespassing, and it was very late. I threatened to call the cops, or alternatively offered to see to his leaving. Personally, the small man laughed at me, making blood rise to my face. My emotions got the better of me, and without thinking, I lunged at him. I know I didn't miss, but in my state of frenzy, he must have slipped behind me somehow. I felt my hand burn, suddenly and sharply. I heard a small plop in front of me and immediately got dizzy. On the ground in front of me lay my left pinky and half of my ring finger, lying pale in a small puddle of my blood. I screamed and wrapped my body around my hand. I was so dizzy, my heart was pounding, just pumping blood right into my shirt and sweatpants. I heard his wretched laugh behind me again. I reckon that's about 1%. I'll see you again in a month, you pitiful fool. I turned and he was already gone. I immediately grasped the context of what he said and desperately tried to find the website. I filled out the subscription form on. I checked my email, my browsing history, everything. All I managed to do was smear blood all over my brand new phone. I dialed 911 and they came within minutes. They ended up sewing up the wounds on my hand and bandaging it, making no attempt to reattach my lost digits. I asked my doctors and nurses, and really anyone who would talk to me, what happened to my fingers, but they all looked at me like I was crazy. When I got back home late that night, the pool of my blood was still on the floor, but my 1.5 fingers were missing. I knew the paramedics didn't pick them up. I knew it was the small man. I knew that was my fee for my lavish lifestyle. Asterisk, asterisk, would you accept a subscription that gave you everything for 1% of yourself each month? Do you think he can escape the contract, or is he doomed? What would you do if a stranger came to collect in flesh?